record on this computer. Okay, perfect. I think we're recording. All right, and I will share my screen with you guys. Can you guys see this? Oh, I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, so we are going to visualize our best future selves. So the first activity, I want you to think back 5 years ago. None of us were coaches, right? Because I think Sue started 4 years ago in April. So none of us were coaches. I want you to just answer these questions. If you want to jot down what you're thinking, go ahead. If you want to just think in your head, you can do that too. But what was your life like 5 years ago? So whatever age you are now, 5 years back. So I was 29. So what was your life like? What were you doing? How are you feeling? How did you get to where you are right now? And who was that girl? And I said girl because at 29, I honestly feel like I was such a baby, even though I had Tatum, my daughter. But I was not mature enough to probably even be a mom. So where were you at 5 years ago? So for me, 5 years ago, I was living in Arizona. I was teaching. I was confused really with where I wanted to go in life. I knew that I was not interested in teaching anymore, and I needed a new career path. I was frustrated that we had a daughter with no family around, so I had no support except for my husband, but he was working full time, so I didn't have much support outside of that. I was really depressed. I had extreme anxiety. And I just, like I said, I was confused. I had no idea where I wanted to go. And then also, actually, that year, 5 years ago, we made the decision to leave Arizona to move back home. I left teaching. I started working for my dad. There was so many life changes that I kind of got thrown into. So your homework assignment, because we don't have enough time to do this tonight, but I want you to think of all of those questions that you just answered and write a letter to that girl. So for me, mine would really be thanking that girl for giving up what she knew, what she went to college for, what she had a master's degree in, for taking the risk of moving to another state to be closer to family. I mean, that was a huge decision for us at that time. I would thank that girl for, starting to really think about how she was feeling on the inside. I wasn't comfortable in my skin, and I knew I needed to change, even though that took maybe a year or two after that to actually start physical fitness. But I want you to write a letter to that person that you were 5 years ago, because I guarantee your life has drastically changed in some way. I mean, you're here today, you're doing your coaching, you've started your fitness journey or your health journey. I guarantee you're a different person than you were 5 years ago. So that's the opening exercise. And I do encourage you to write that letter because it is extremely powerful. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can, hold on just 1 second, make this bigger. Okay, so here we're gonna just spend maybe a minute or two on each of these questions. And again, it's your time to really reflect. So 8 steps to visualizing your ideal life. I want you guys to be specific when you think of your future self. Think of the smells you're smelling. Think of the lighting in the room. Think of who you're spending your time with. So we're just gonna go through every single one of these. The first one is, where do you live? What type of environment would you live in? Are you in the same house that you're currently in? Do you maybe own a home if you don't own a home right now? How does your house feel? What does it smell like? What do you see? Be super specific here. And just do the first one for now. So I'll give you just a minute to kind of jot down your thoughts. Do you guys need another few seconds? Are we good to move on to the next? Okay. How do you, it's not supposed to be start. How do you start and end your day? So think of the bookends of your day. How does your morning flow? How do you feel when you wake up? Are you excited? Are you depressed to get out of bed at 5 o'clock? I mean, how are you feeling? When do you go to work if you do work? What does your morning routine look like? Who's around you during the day? Are you surrounded by employees? Are you with your husband and your kids? What does that look like for you? And then maybe when do you end your job? We as coaches, I know it's so important to set those time boundaries. Like, when are you working until late at night because your kids are in bed? Are you shutting everything off at 5 o'clock at night and spending the rest of the evening with your family? And then when you get into bed at the end of the night, how are you feeling? Wow, I made a lot of errors. I'm sorry. I should have reread through my slides. So how do you start your day? How do you end your day? Be about 10 more seconds. Okay, the next one is your health and body. So what does it feel like? And this isn't just like a physical, what do you look like physically? This is, what does it feel like to be in your body? Are you extremely confident? Do you feel sexy? Like, what does it feel like to be in your body? What's your energy like, your strength, your endurance? What are you able to physically do? Can you run around with your kids or your grandkids? Or can you climb up a flight of stairs without feeling breathless? Can you run a marathon? Like, is your body and your health capable of? Okay, I see a lot of heads up, so I'll move on to the next one. What's your family and your relationships like? Are you in a relationship or a marriage? What conversations do you have with your spouse or significant other, or with family members? How do those conversations feel? Do you have kids? Do you have more kids? If you have kids, picture them 5 years from now. How old will they be? What kind of relationship will you have with them at that age? What types of things will you be doing with them? How do you interact with them? This was a big one for me because my daughter's almost 8 and she'll be 8 next week, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she'll be like a teenager. I can't think of that." I don't want her to grow up. Okay, the next one is your fulfillment. Do you serve someone in a particular way with your time, your income, your ideas, your business? Who are you excited to help? What would he or she say to you about how you have helped them? So if you think, like, if you got a text message from the person that you're there to serve, what would they be saying to you? Would they say you've completely changed their life or helped to change their life? Would they say you've been such an inspiration to them? What would they say? Are you able to fulfillment to me, I think too, is like being able to give more freely to charities or to my church. So what's the fulfillment for you? Okay, the next one is your career. What would your career path be if nothing was off limits? If you could do anything, dream big here, girls. Like, seriously, if you could do anything, what would you do? Um, what would the actual activities look like in your job? Would you outsource certain things? Would you take it all on yourself? Would you not be working? What would make you so excited to do? Who would you be surrounding yourself with on a daily basis? And what does your work environment look like? Are you at an office? Are you at your current job location? Are you working from home? What would that look like? And maybe it's the same as what you're doing now, and that's great. You can write down all of um, those aspects of it too. I just realized too, I can't see any um, the chat box. So if you guys have questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, the next category is your finances. This one for me, I actually, if you guys were at Puerto Vallarta when we had dinner as a team, I actually said this out loud and it scared the crap out of me. But I've also started showing up more than I ever have in my business. So it does help to put a specific number down. So, how much do you earn per month or per year? How would you feel opening up your how do you feel opening up your bank account? Are you like terrified to see that number because you're living paycheck to paycheck, or do you feel like you can just not even check it because you know you're stable financially? Um, what type of lifestyle can you provide for your family? Are you able to travel if you want to travel? Can you put your kids in sports through school? Like, what are you able to give your family? What type of lifestyle? How would the conversations around money feel? This one is huge because my husband and I argue about money probably too much than we really should. So, how does that feel having conversations about money? Who could you help that needs more resources in your life? Maybe you have a parent or a sister who really could use some help financially. Are you able to help them? What would that look like? And then the last category is your joy. How would you rate your happiness level? How do you spend your time when you aren't working? Do you have certain hobbies that you've picked up? Maybe you've been really wanting to take guitar lessons. Have you started that? And then what do you simply do just for the hell of it because you can? And if you guys feel like you need to go back and really spend more time on these, please do because they do definitely help. But I'm going to move on just because we have about 10 more minutes. So this, oh, I don't know how to put this thing up here. Ah, okay, I'm just gonna move you guys out of the way for a second. So I want you to picture it. And this is an activity that I started in October. Chris Downing suggested it, and I actually added it into my morning routine after I read my daily affirmations. I pull this picture up, I have it saved on my phone. You can put it on, print it out and put it on a mirror or just anywhere that you'll see it every single day. But I want you to find a favorite picture of you, just yourself, just you. And if you don't have a favorite one, then you can take one. I want you to think of all the prompts on the previous that you just wrote down and how you answered each one. And I want you right now to go through that list and I want you to highlight or underline or circle or whatever key words or phrases that mean the most to you. So go back through and just think of the ones that pop out to you. Circle those, highlight them, underline them. There we go. And of course, guys, you can add to your list. You can take things out. I mean, you make it yours. Just something to generally be able to visualize so that when you see this every single day, you can think, okay, yeah, I am living my life debt free, or I am a confident woman in my own body, or whatever yours were. But then I was going to have us do this activity, but I think because of time, you'll have to do it on your own. But I want you then to just take your favorite picture and use a text app, or I made this one with Canva, and you take that picture and you write those words on that image. So if you look at mine, and this is the one I read every single day since October. I just have those keywords: debt free, confident, I'm happily married, I'm a patient, happy, fun mom, I'm a 10-star diamond, I provide value and I'm able to give more to others, I'm a relationship builder, I'm mentally strong, I'm an elite coach with 5 PS personally sponsored elite coaches. So it's not just my success, I'm actually having a team of successful coaches. I'm in Arizona living in our dream home. I'm faith driven. I'm a strong leader. I'm surrounded by women who are uplifting and empowering, and I'm able to travel without worries. So every single morning, I read this. And I don't just read it, I'm actually picturing myself living that life. And I will tell you, probably after about 2 weeks of doing this, I started speaking as if, like, heck yeah, I'm a strong leader. Like, I started showing up on social media, I feel more confident, like I said in the beginning. It does work, and I always thought this was such a silly practice, but I promise you it is it's so incredibly worth it. And it's just something to really visualize and to see that dream that you have and to start speaking it, because I feel like when you speak things out into the universe or pray about it or whatever you believe in, they do start coming true. And then I did have another activity. I planned way too much for this, but another homework assignment for you guys. So in the beginning, we wrote a letter, or you will write a letter, or you can write a letter to yourself 5 years ago. I want you then to think of your future self 5 years from the age you are right now, and then write a letter to that person and asking the same exact questions. What have you accomplished in the next 5 years? Or in the last 5 years? What does your life look like now that you're 5 years older? How are you feeling? How did you get here? Who is this new woman? Remember, nothing is off limits. This is your life. Only you get to determine what it will look like. So you can dream big. You can write down those hairy, scary goals that we all have. And you make it you personalize it to yourself. And then I just wrote down a quote: the key to effective visualization is to create the most detailed, clear, and vivid picture to focus on, and then start showing up as your future self every single day. So that's all I have. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Okay, I'm going to stop recording.